Hello everyone. Today we are going to see load sharing approach. We have already saw about the sharing approach and what are those types. We have seen load balancing approach and its types and the policies and the design issues to face them. Now we are going to see the load sharing approach and the policies related to that is the design issues and how to overcome that design issues. So let us first, before going to go into the load sharing approach, let us see the drawbacks of load balancing approach. So the load balancing technique, in that case, with the attempt of equalizing the workload on all the nodes, is not appropriate object because of the overhead of the state information, because it all constantly looks for the state information and it is very busy to see that the load is equalized or equally placed in all the nodes. Again, it is not achievable since the number of processes in the node is always fluctuating. Because of the temporal unbalance, the nodes exist every moment. Since it is constantly trying to allocate the process here and there, we cannot determine the number of processes in a particular node. So again, it is a major drawback for the load balancing system. Now let us see how we can design a load sharing approach. In case of load sharing approach, there is only one rule, that it will see that whether the nodes are idle or not. If there is no process allocated to a node, it will allocate the node with some process. So the only principle to check whether the node is idle or not. So it does not require that many complications. Then too we'll see. So it is necessary and sufficient to prevent nodes from being idle, while some other nodes have more than two processes. So the process should be more than two. If some other node has more than two processes, and while we find some node is idle, then we will try to allocate this process to that idle node. Load sharing is much simpler than load balancing, since it only ensures that whether the node is free or not. So priority assignment policy and migration limiting policy are same as that of load balancing algorithm. So based on the priority from which we give more priority, so the priority may be for the local process or the remote process. So based on that, the priority assignment policy may vary. Again, migration limiting policy, for each load we will be setting some migrating we will set that amount of time they can migrate. Either it can migrate for one time, it can migrate for n number of time, or for some cases the migration time the number of migration is not limited. They can migrate any number of times. So these are the two things about priority assignment policy and migration limiting policy, and these two things are same that of load balancing approach. Now let us see the load estimation policy for load sharing algorithm. Since load sharing algorithms simply attempt to avoid idle nodes, it is sufficient to know whether a node is busy or idle. So the only first rule is we have to know whether the particular node is busy or idle. It is not necessary we should understand how busy they are. Just we have to understand whether it is busy or not. Thus these algorithms normally employ the simplest load estimation policy of counting the total number of processes. So they just count the total number of processes. In modern systems, where permanent existence of several processes on an idle node is possible, algorithm measures. So in modern times, we see the CPU utilization to estimate the load on the node. If suppose we see the CPU has been used for this much time, then we can see the load should be this much. We used to calculate. Before we used to calculate by the number of process. So now process transfer policy. So how in load sharing algorithm, let us see how the processes are transferred from one node to another. The algorithms are normally used all or nothing strategy. So whether if we want to transfer, we are going to transfer everything or we are going to transfer nothing. So this strategy uses the threshold value of all the nodes fixed to 1. So the threshold value is here, it is fixed to 1. Nodes become receiver node when it has no processes, and become sender nodes when it has more than one processes. Okay, so there are only two kinds, either it may be a receiver or it is a sender. So receiver, in the case if it has no processes, then it will be a receiver. If it has a more than one process, then it will be the sender. To avoid processing power on the nodes having zero process, load sharing algorithms use a threshold value of 2 instead of 1. Yeah, so if suppose we identify a particular node has a zero process, then that means it is okay, zero process. So what, it is more likely to receive many processes, many nodes, many processes from different nodes. So in order to avoid that overhead, the limiting or the threshold value is set to 1. So what happens when it receives one process from a node, then it is done with that, it is indicated. So to avoid that overhead, it is the threshold value set to 1. When CPU utilization is used, suppose this is for number of processes. Now we are going to see, if suppose we are going to use the CPU utilization is used as a load estimation policy, the double threshold policy should be used as the process transfer policy. We have already saw what is double threshold policy. In case of double threshold policy, we use two threshold like low, high. So there can be, if the process below the line of low, we'll call it as underload. If it is above the low line, above the low threshold, then we call it as normal. Then if it is suppose above the high threshold value, then we call it as overload. So this kind of thing is used in CPU utilization. Now location policies. Let us see the location policies for load sharing algorithm. The location policy decides whether the sender node or the receiver node of the process take the initiative to search for suitable node in the system, and this policy can be of the following. So it is about making the decision who is going to send the message, whether the receiver node is going to send or the sender node is going to send. So let us see sender initiated location policy. So here the sender will decide where to send the process. So before sending the process, it ensures itself as heavily loaded nodes search for lightly loaded nodes. So it will search, if suppose it is a heavily loaded, it is a heavily loaded node. So that's why it is searching for a lightly loaded nodes. So among the lightly loaded nodes, it will send the message. Receiver initiated location policy. Here the receiver node decides from where to get the processes, from whom it should get the processes. So then the lightly loaded nodes search for heavily loaded nodes. Here the lightly loaded nodes will be searching for the heavily loaded nodes. So let us see in detail. Sender initiated policy, node becomes overloaded. So why it is going to initiate? So very first thing, the sender's node becomes overloaded. In that case, it either broadcasts or randomly probes for other nodes one by one to find a node that is able to receive remote processes. So it will either broadcast in the sense it will send message to every other lighter nodes so far it is there, or every other nodes. Irrespective whether they are light or heavy, it will send message to every nodes to regarding its condition or its state. That is, it is heavily loaded, so it is looking for a lightly loaded node. Or it may probe in the search. It will search particularly. We may have some algorithms. Based on that algorithm, it will search particularly to find which one is lighter. So when broadcasting, suitable node is known as soon as reply arrives. So in case of broadcasting or probing, if suppose that particular node which is free or which is idle lighter, so soon as that it receives the message, it will give a reply message to the sender. So that is about sender initiated location policy. Now we'll see receiver initiated location policy. Here the nodes become underloaded. Yes, it either broadcast or same thing. It either broadcasts or randomly probes other nodes one by one to indicate its willingness to accept the load or to get the new remote processes. So receiver initiated policy require preemptive processes. Migration facility, since scheduling decisions are usually made at the process of departure epochs. Yeah, in case of receiver policy, they require a preemptive in the sense priority based migration facility. So because then only the right nodes or the right process will be given, or there is a process of occurring overhead. So in order to avoid that, we use preemptive migration facility. So now let us see the experiences with the location policies. What are the different outcomes from the experience policy? Both the policies give substantial performance advantages over the situation in which no load sharing is attempted. So in case suppose both will be ideal for their own circumstances. If suppose there is a heavily loaded node is there, so it sends the broadcast, and again it makes the situation up at pace. Again, if there is a lightly loaded node is there, and it again wants to ensure to make the system function efficiently, so it sends the message to other nodes so that it will get the process from the heavily loaded node. So both are equally good in their performance scenarios. Sender initiated policy is preferable at light to moderate system loads. So light to moderate system loads, we can go for sender initiated policy. Receiver initiated policy is preferable at high system loads. Sender initiated policy provide better performance for the case when process transfer cost significantly more at receiver initiated than at a sender initiated policy due to the preemptive transfer process. So here we see that the sender initiative policy is better because it doesn't have any priority or preemptive case, because if it is heavy, it will start broadcasting, and it is the need for it. But in case of receiver initiated policy, it has to look whether priority with whose priority is more, from where should the process should be taken. So compare the cost for performing this particular task is higher than the cost for performing sender initiative policy. So that is better when we see the with reference to cost. So the last thing of the policy is state information exchange policies for load sharing algorithm. So let us see how they identify the state, whether they are idle or busy. So it is in load sharing algorithm, it is not necessary for the nodes to periodically exchange state information, but needs to know the state of other nodes when it is either underloaded or overloaded. So it is not necessary for them to broadcast or tell about their state, but on the other hand, it should be aware of the other nodes whether they are underloaded or overloaded. So in that case, it is not like that they have to broadcast every now and then or periodically. They can broadcast only when the state changes. So broadcast when state changes. In sender initiated or receiver initiated location policy, a node broadcast states information request when it becomes overloaded or underloaded. So in order to broadcast it has to change from overloaded to underloaded or underloaded to overloaded. In that case, it will broadcast its state. So it is called when the idle policy, when receiver initiated policy is used with a fixed threshold value of 1. So the receiver, suppose a receiver is initiating a policy, that is, it is calling for exchange process exchange. In that case, it should fix the value 1. If it does not fix the value, threshold value 1, what happens? Other heavily loaded nodes will try to transfer all their excess nodes or remote procedures to this particular local node, receiver node. So there is a possibility for overhead. To avoid that, we have to set the threshold value as 1. Poll when state changes. So it is about broadcasting, or it is now polling. So in case of polling, when the state changes, there is a polling mechanism that sends the information to randomly to the other nodes in the network, so that it can identify, it recalls when it is identify that which of the threshold value for among the polled one, it will identify whose threshold value is 1. So based on that, they can find that this particular node is free, that is idle, and they can exchange their state information with one another. So this is all about load sharing approach. So we have seen all the 3 approaches of scheduling algorithms. Thank you.